Hi, I'm Lauren Hamilton, accountant for therapists. Today I wanted to talk to you about the differences between an accountant and a tax preparer. This is going to help you so that you know what support you need in your practice. So let's define the roles. So, what does a tax preparer do? Well, just that. They're going to get their tax return ready for you and accurately and on time. So they're going to gather your year end numbers and they will file your federal and state income tax returns. They're going to make sure that you're getting all deductions that you qualify for, help you avoid IRS issues and making sure that you are in compliance when you're filing those returns. And sometimes they even advise on estimated tax payments for you for the following year. But the key difference is that tax preparers work backwards. So they're always going to be looking a year behind. And the only time that they would ever kind of look forward, like I said, are giving you those quarterly tax estimates. So what does an accountant do? An accountant looks at the whole picture of your business, not just your taxes. So they are going to help with bookkeeping and financial statements, tracking your income and expenses, setting up your accounting systems, helping you understand your numbers, and advising you during the year. And, if you have life events that happen and what those might mean for your business. So they are going to be the ones that are going to be looking forward and helping you plan and improve your cash flow and making those informed decisions during the year. So here's where I see therapists often getting confused. If they just have a tax preparer, they might assume that the tax preparer is looking at their books all year round, but that's not necessarily the case. So with your tax preparer, you're probably only meeting with them once a year, or you're just sending them your items once a year. Um, they are just going to be taking the numbers that you give them. They're not necessarily going to be looking at, is everything coded correctly? Really good tax preparers will do that, but not all will. So you do want to be careful about that. They are going to prepare your return, meaning that the information that you've provided to them, they are going to put into the return in the correct way. You may not get ongoing guidance from them. Again, some tax preparers might offer you tax planning, but not all tax preparers are going to be able to do that for you. You're not going to get day-to-day accounting help from them. Again, they are strictly just there to prepare the tax return with the information that you have provided to them. So with that being said, and with that kind of encompassing what the tax preparer actually does for you, the accountant, on the other hand, is going to be there to look at your books throughout the year and making sure those are clean and up to date and making sure that everything is properly categorized. They will also be there for day-to-day questions. If that comes up, again, like I talked about earlier, if life events happen, let's say, your family size changes, or you move or anything like that during the year, your accountant is going to be able to stay up on that as it happens and can make suggestions on how to make decisions, or advise you on what might be a better solution for a deduction that you can bring to your tax preparer. So, like I said, sometimes these roles can be with one person, and that's generally kind of a good sweet spot, because you're going to have somebody who's going to be there with you throughout the year, who is looking at your books, who's looking at your activity, making those suggestions for you, while keeping in mind for the tax return that they're going to be filing for that year. And they will know any of the changes that you have going on during the year. They can then put that into a tax planning system and help you organize those items, so that way you're not hit with a big tax bill at the end of the year. And usually when you find somebody like that, they can be more valuable to you. So just to kind of summarize all of that, the tax preparer is there just to keep you compliant and making sure that you're filing all of the forms that you need to with the IRS and with your state jurisdictions for the end of the year. The accountant is going to keep you organized and financially healthy all through the year. So both of these are valuable, but they serve very different purposes and roles. And when you're looking for somebody who you want to work with or who you want to have support you in those roles in your practice, those are just some good things that you kind of want to be aware of. And if you have any questions around that, make sure that you ask them as you're kind of interviewing them for that relationship. If you need more clarity around this, I would love to have a discussion with you about it and see what type of role you might need in your practice. Maybe you only need a tax preparer because you feel really good about how you're managing your accounting during the year, or maybe you already have a tax preparer that you love working with, but they're cutting back on their accounting services, and so maybe you need to find a new accountant now. Whatever situation you might be going in, as I like to say, I like to meet you where you are. So please reach out to me with those questions, or if you want to talk more about your situation. If you found this information helpful, please like and share it with somebody else who might also find it helpful. It's always good to support each other. Until next time, be well.